video. 1 second. So hopefully you can hear this. All right, so many of you already know how much I love AUM, Koala, Swam, all that good stuff. Sorry about the lighting in here too. It's a little bright right now, but I can't help it. I have to use it. Disregard scaler. It's not out yet, but it is coming. AUM. This is a great app. I don't know if I've talked about it much. Let me see if I can get the brightness off of there so you can see this thing. All right, give me a second. Let me see if I can adjust the lighting. Turn that down. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit better. All right, cool. So this is, I think to June the 30th. So today is June the 14th. This is Sitala, which is, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Sitala or Sitala, which is basically a drum app. It's very much like Battery. Reminds me of that. Kind of reminds me of Ableton to some degree too, and I love it. And you can get it on the MacBook for sure, and the Windows for free, and then you can get it on iPad right now for $5. So it's a worthy grab. I would say get it, even if you have Koala, which you know I love, because what this is more like you can load drum kits, whereas Koala is more like a sampler where you can create and you can keep drums in there, but it's not the same as being able to just pull up and recall drums. And then you have the shaper, the tuner, and all that good stuff. So this isn't about one particular app. This is more about what you can use it for. I keep my drums. I know it's kind of hard to hear. I'm just working with the iPad. I don't have my speakers on. Let me see if I can turn the iPad up. There you go. I got some bit juggler on there. But anyway, so you can hear that. And I like to keep my stuff where I have the snares on one. This is how I do it in Ableton too, just because I find it, I don't use the same snares, kicks all the time if I do it this way. If I just build a kit with 3 different sounds in it, I'm gonna use those same 3 sounds every time I pull that kit. I will never venture out to try this stuff. So with this, it gives me a chance to try stuff. Anywho, so I have it routed all to Koala. And of course, there's nothing going on in Koala yet because I'm still creating stuff. So what I did was I started with this using Scaler. You don't have to have Scaler, disregard that again. This Waverly plugin kind of reminds me of kind of a lo-fi, good for ambient and lo-fi type music. But anyway, this is what I came up with. Just some nice chords to kind of just mellow out over. Then I added in the kicks and the drums. This one doesn't have anything on it anyway. So the kicks, snares, etc. with it. So you can see, I'm just doing a 4-bar in this one, keeping it really simple. Of course, it missed a kick, which happens a lot, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna plug one in by doing that. Put a kick on the front, right? So now we should have it, should start. I have the count in on too, so let me turn that off. Now that we have this, oops. Are you still gonna count in? That's what I was doing, was turn it on. All right, cool. So there it is. I added a melody in. This is what was getting cool is I went ahead. Let me see if I can find the melody. Well, I was supposed to add a melody and I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. So I have the kicks here, kick, snare, hats, chords here. I'm gonna put a melody there. And this is what I really wanted to show now that we're 5 minutes in and I've explained everything, I reckon. I'm using this particular slide over because it's a controller. It's very much like an Ableton launch pad, but it's on the iPad and you can use it as a controller. So you'll see I have it, if you go into the settings, I have it set to the key of the song. I put it in chromatic, but you could put it in diatonic. It'll look like this. Let me show you, which is all the pads, if you think about like that, right? I like it in chromatic because now I know exactly which notes to play, and I see the other notes in between. If I want to use them and step outside of the scale, for whatever reason, I still see it. Whereas the other way, the diatonic, you're only going to see the notes that are in the scale. It's not going to put anything, so every note you hit in the scale. But I like to have both. So one of the reasons why I hated the Launchpad, I loved it for every other reason, but for this reason, was there was no way to have the pitch bend or the, what was it called? Or the modulation wheel, what was it called? And the modulation wheel is something I like. So typically you need a keyboard. But one of the things about Swam is on their AUV3s is they put the controls here. And you could, of course, map it to something. But you can also use your finger, of course, because it's the iPad, right? So check this out. So you can play the vibrato on here. Hopefully the camera will get back focused. All right, so I'm gonna record just or jam with it for just a second, and then you can see what I'm talking about. Just that simple. So really cool. You can pretty much, when you're not using it, throw it aside, pull these open, do your drums, do whatever you need to do. When you want to use it again, bring it back. Here's another thing. You can go in and change it from layout to a drum rack layout. So just like you would on, it's like 3 settings basically from there. So check that out. Now you have, at least you have a set of 16, right? There's your 16 pads, and then you have a top set. So what you could do, if you wanted to use it for everything, is you could set each one to have it. Like let's say you want to do it on the drums. What you would do is pull that aside, right? Because it's connected there. And then connect it to the drums. So it's right here. Throw it back out. There's nothing on those, so there's your kicks. So that's an option too. So you wouldn't have to, and then if, let's say if you're not gonna use it on a kick, let's say you have it hooked to all 3. Let's hook it up to this one just to show you what I'm talking about. So you can't play them both at the same time because it's gonna play the kick and the snare at the same time. So what you could do outside of muting this, because what you don't want it to do is play into and trigger on a different one. So just pull it aside, turn on the one you want, right? Then you finish your kicks or however you do, put on your snares now. Now you can do. So now you have your snares, throw it aside, do your hats or however you record. If you record all on one, that's fine too. Then all your kicks, everything can be in one and you don't have to have, like I have where I have 3. But for me, I do it this way just because I like everything separated, and it, for some reason, makes me create in a different way. And I tend to not use the same stuff all the time when I do that. And get the most out of my sounds that I do have. All right, this is almost 10 minutes. I'm done. I just wanted you to see that. I'm gonna remove this here, and that you can definitely use this program. I think it's like $3.99 if you want to use it. And I believe if you hit here just real quick, if you go to device, you see Launchpad integration. So you could Wait, where is it? Device. You look at here, you could actually probably, and I'm not saying 100% because I don't know, is hook it to one of these Launchpad devices and use your device. But why? If you got it on here for $3.99, the Launchpads are like $100+. You might as well just use one of these, especially if you're just using it for like single note leads and solos and etc. You could just use it on here and just touch the iPad and save yourself some money. So anyway, great option, really cool stuff that you can do with the iPad. I know a lot of people think I don't use it anymore, and to the degree they're right, I don't. I use it mostly for Swam, and occasionally I'll get on here for other little features. I mostly use Ableton now because I like it, and it's just what works for me. So anyway, that's all I got. Just wanted to show you this cool little idea of what you could use this program for, called Grid Instruments. Grid Instruments, Grid Instruments. Check it out. It's on the App Store, and it works on the iPhone, which is really cool. It's a little harder on the iPhone because you have to, move it over, use it, put it, so it's really hard because you're using it outside of AUM, but connecting it to AUM is like an instrument, so it's hard to explain. But anyway, it's a little more challenging, but you could try it out, see if you like it. Anyway, that's all I got. All right, I'm out.